Wow, wow, wow. I just came back down, uh, came up from my basement checking the heater that's been on a couple of days to keep the pipes down there warm. And I've been upstairs for about 10, 15 minutes, and all of a sudden, the thought came to me, and I know it was God. I know God spoke. And because again, when God gives us information and within our spirit, they usually be pop-up thoughts, random thoughts. You wasn't even thinking on that. That's one way of my confirmation of knowing what resonates, whether it's from God or not, and whether it brings peace and wisdom. But man, what revelation God disclosed within my spirit. Okay, it first came in as basically surrounding the topic of what go around, come around. That's basically how it came in my spirit. What go around, come around. What you do to someone, it'll come back to you. So then when that came to my spirit, I said, well, why do so many people get away with something of doing such injustice in the world and to people, and it looks like they don't get consequences? And oh my gosh, oh my goodness. So what clarification that was, broken down to me was that people can do so much mischievous, devious deeds to other people, and it may seem as if they're getting away with things for so many years, like no consequences. Forgive me, I can't do something one time and I'll get the consequences within the same 5-10 minutes, it seemed like. So that's why I don't even play around with any type of devious thoughts, deeds, or anything. Even if I think crazy, my body will respond right away. So through my spiritual journey, I am paranoid of even teasing certain negativity, whether it's in my mind, whether it's in my actions, because God has shown me I'm not one of those that can do something and get away with it. So early on in my spiritual walk, and even in my life before I knew what I was, teaming up with my spiritual connection. But to break it down, how God broke it down to me, why so many people get away with things seems like forever, is because they didn't do it to that one. Okay, because for one, the Bible say, touch not mine anointed. And a lot of mischievous deeds people do to others, that's because basically they're in the same playing field. They're on the same team. And so for many years, they may have not come in contact with that anointed one, God's people, God's person, because and I hate to say this, but I can only be a witness of what has happened. I have been in contact with people through all my years, especially with the knowledge and awakening of my spiritual journey, that somebody could have been doing something over and over, same thing to different people, but when they did that same thing to me, the Bible also says that you will see the judgment on your enemy. Basically, I don't even call them enemies, but those that have done you wrong, you will see it, and you don't have to go looking for it. That's why another reason why it's so easy for me to let things go. People may think they're getting over on you, and you could feel crazy and stupid for letting them get away with something. But no, when they've touched one of God's people, they could have been doing and getting away with things for year after year after year. But once they touch one of God's people, it's like all that they've done, that's when the consequences will come. The consequences don't really show up on a person doing devious deeds, because they're doing it against people that's on the same team. But the minute they do that, whatever, against one of God's people, all of that they've done, now it's like a floodgate has been opened. Now it's like the consequences just pour out, floods. Why was I even on this? But that was God showing me. Maybe because, I can admit that there are 2-3 different things that's going on in my personal life that it's not right. And as I said, by witnessing my past, somebody that ever did something to me, God said, you will see the judgment on them. And I would never go looking for that. I would never pray for something like that on somebody. The Bible say, love your enemy, do good to them that spitefully use you, pray for them. And that's basically how I've walked in my spiritual journey. I'm not going to do spite for spite. I'll just disconnect. I'm not going to curse you. I'm not going to think evil, nothing. I'm just going to go on about my merry way and give it up to God. He'll handle all things in his time. I don't have to. Vengeance is mine, saith the Lord. I don't have to take vengeance on nobody that does any ill treatment towards me. Because when they touch God's people, they're not getting away with anything. And that's why judgment is upon so many systems and even people in the system, in the world, because of all the injustice that they thought they've gotten away with for year after year, many, many years. But let us not be deceived. We're not mocking God. Because when they do it to the least of these, they've done it unto God. So again, I don't know, but I guess God gave that for me to know. I didn't ask to know this, but yeah, Some people may be wondering, how could people get away with so much for so long, and it's like no consequences come their way? It's because what they've been doing is against people that's on their team, that's in that same playing field. But the minute they do the same thing, thinking you're just another person, they could be doing it unto God. Have a blessed day.